speakers today, who I'm going to introduce more formally in a moment, Musa Magasa, Barbara Whittington, and David Turner. So I do have the pleasure of introducing our guest speakers today. And they are a team from UVic working with the School of Social Work in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Barb and David are retired professors with a focus on equity, human rights, women and families, politics, and community. And Musa is the human rights educator at UVic and is researching governance in Africa. So I welcome you, and we're looking forward to your talk today.
Thank you for inviting us. It's a wonderful opportunity to share something of our experiences in Ethiopia. To honor two people, two Ethiopians, who kind of inspired us. On the left is Dr. Elias Shabud, and on the right is Dr. Abebe Teklu. Some of you may have seen Dr. Teklu. He used to be, by the way, they're both in memoriam, so they're both passed on. So these two people want to bring peace in Ethiopia and to build the capacity of Ethiopians to deal with issues of poverty, hunger, development, those kind of issues. And so this is kind of the legacy of these two gentlemen, both who have lived in Victoria as well. Let me tell you a bit about Ethiopia. 85 to 90 million population, 80 languages and ethnic groups. Approximately 45% are Ethiopian Orthodox Christian, 40% are Muslim, and 10% are evangelical. Interesting place. Did you know they have palaces and castles? This is Gondar, where the emperor in the 17th century built a big castle. Much of the farming is subsistence style. That's in the countryside. Transporting the harvest. And on the roads we have lots of livestock and hazards. The roads are beautiful roads, Chinese roads outside. 2 lanes, asphalt, but generally going through some very difficult terrain.
The Ethiopians are well known as the most fantastic dancers. They don't get those legs just from running. And so that's one of the things I did. The other thing that was so surprising to me when I had this chance to go to Ethiopia to teach and dance was how beautiful. One of the things that we did was to work with the Gender Studies Department at Addis Ababa University, which is a huge university, about 4 times the size of University of Victoria. And there's something like 13 new universities that are in operation now in Ethiopia as well. They have a huge commitment to education. You have the juxtaposition all the time of everyone has a cell phone. People can have access to television on their cell phones. And we would be sitting in Elias's mom's house, and one of the sisters or nieces would be preparing the coffee ceremony, and there'd be a fire in the middle of the room, and at the same time everybody would be on their cell phone. Okay, these are some of the things we do and the principles of our project. We're working, as I said, with some of those examples to look at what equality of gender really means. There's a lot of areas in Ethiopia where there is equality of gender.
As mentioned earlier on, I work as a human rights educator. We'll call on you to not only develop communication skills, critical thinking, caring for other people, but also to be a human being. There is human rights work being done in Ethiopia, but a few years ago, the government decided to ban any organization who is from outside trying to teach human rights in Ethiopia. Some people might call it is teaching people how to fish instead of giving them the fish. Well, I will tell you, human rights capacity building, it is not about giving people fish or teaching them how to fish. It is first to check with them if they like fish. Because they might like a juicy lamb or a steak. Around 200 students, and amongst those 200 students first year, 37 of them are blind. Well, the good news is that most of the professors who were teaching the class were using PowerPoint. So when we go to Ethiopia, it is not only we try to bring to them things, but we try also to challenge ourselves and their approach. And we have a good conversation, and this helps people to change their mind. So capacity building and our work is really to engage peers into critical thinking, into approaching life and the world differently. I met Nelson Mandela in South Africa. I didn't see his quote until later, but when I met him, I remember he was shaking people's hand. The only thing he told me is, "Thank you for coming here and fighting to free us." Years later, I came across his quote, and he said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change your life." And I realized that he's right, because it is what changed my life. So capacity building, any effort you put in helping capacity building is going to change people's life. People like me. Their greeting was, "Thank you, Canada." It is what they told us. And there is many more we can also say, "Thank you, Canada," and thank you to all of you. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite Marley Sanchez, who is a member of the new board of directors, Brian Finley's board of directors, that's going to be taking over at the end of June.
As President Ali says, when a lot of people help in different areas, it is fun. The job is completed and everybody is involved and we enjoy fellowship. So, for the administration of the club, we have different committees. We have club administration, and I will be helping with that. Also, we have membership services. We have Rotary International Foundation. We have public relations and Greater Victoria clubs, marketing and web design, members at large and major projects. Also collaborate suggesting speakers, and we will be really happy to have your ideas. Starting in May, we will have the sign-up sheets in the registration table each Thursday for our lunch, and you are invited to sign your name in the committee of your choice.
I'd like to invite Peter Norman to the podium.
Yes, and fellow Rotarians, I'd like to remind you all that today is St. George, and in Henry V, Part 1, he says these two words. Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more. Or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in your ears, then imitate the action of a tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. This isn't about peace at all, is it? Well, never mind. It ends with a Conan Doyle quote, which is amazing that Shakespeare knew that. It says, "The game's afoot. On this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George."
On Sunday at the 10K, about 20 Rotarian or Rotarian family members are going to drag their sorry butts out onto the pavement and run a walk, crawl 10K. So on your tables, there's some papers, and we need you to drag your pens and pencils out and put your name down and an amount, and we'll catch up to you later on. On Sunday, we're going to have the car out on the race venue in front of the Coho Ferry Building. And we'll have tables there, and we need six people to man that on Sunday morning between 7 o'clock and 11, or 1 o'clock, I guess.
We have time for the one and only Steve Wallace.
I gotta tell you that the people from Ethiopia, you've witnessed the best behaved meeting we've ever had. Usually there are amazing industry. Dan Parker, Dan, you come in and claimed your own award. It's the Dan Parker who's ever late for the meeting award, and Dan comes in, doesn't look left or right, and slides into his seat in an inconspicuous fashion. Peter Norman, that dissertation was amazing. When is St. Stephen's Day?
So, thank you very much to our guest speakers today. And car raffle meeting right away. and let's stand for the